On this episode of Talking About Shit I don't know much about, pretending I know a lot about it. This time, the GeneStealer cult. My favorite faction in Warhammer 40k. The GeneStealer cult is an offset of the Tyranids. They're the absolute vanguard of four-armed, big-brained lizard insect men who is sent ahead to set up small cults and shrines and favors and fortunes on the planets that the hive world wants to infest. Sometimes they're also set up on planets that the hive world don't know exist, and then they send out a big smelly fart that attracts the hives. Why did I say hive world? When I made hive fleets. That's what I meant, yes. What happens is a bunch of GeneStealers, or sometimes just a single one, will jump from human ship to human ship like the xenomorphs from Aliens. Here they will either infect the crew or more likely just hide and wait until it lands at a suitable location. These boys, these four-arms, pretty decent sized boys, are very slender, agile and good at cramming into the smallest places. Here at the New World, they will instantly go into hiding, only to come out at the dead of night to abduct victims such as people on the street, children, other humans that are also children, or adults. They actually don't much care about gender or age. Initially, probably less children. They're not that good at what's coming next. So, okay, adults. Probably mostly adults. Actually, they don't really specify, but let's go with adults. The purebred GeneStealer will then put a little bit of its own biomass into the humans and not eat them. Not yet. Not these humans, at least. This will then put the human under complete control, and they will start to think that they live on an oppressive authoritarian world. Wait, they do that. But they will start to see the Emperor as not as a good man, but an evil man, and that they live in an evil way. They also do that, but they will convince them that it's even more evil and they hate it even more than they actually do, and that they want to help their new god, the four-armed Emperor Lars. I don't know his name, but they believe in a new god and his name is Lars now. Yes. These guys will then abduct or convince other members, usually friends and families, to come and join, which will also get implanted with some biomass. They will mate and they will produce a form of mutant hybrid, but they're not quite hybrid yet. Initially, they're like abominations called malignacy, because they're nasty. These are more closely like a weird inbred mix of a GeneStealer and of a human. So they will be hunched over, have all the arms, insect, big claws, big teeth, big brain, small brain, but big head, so like water-filled skull, and these will not be good for most things. So these will work underneath the world in the sewers and not do much. However, these malignacy will breed with the next group of people who have been abducted, which are called the Contagi, and they will produce something called a hybrid. These hybrid would be more human-like. They'll be a proper mix between a denim thief and a human, a GeneStealer and a human. They will continuously to mate with new Contagi, new hybrids, new malignacy to create true hybrids. As this goes on, they will look more and more human and less GeneStealer. However, they will be just as GeneStealer inside. What then happens is the true hybrids will mate and they will create the primacy. The primacy are the most, they can pass off perfectly as humans. They will just often be quite bold. Sometimes they'll have some riches, but mostly they will be so human in appearance that they can pass off. And this is what they wanted all along. Because what they then do is they infiltrate. They start setting up shop in all the different places, like administratums, or maybe some becomes commissar. A lot of them will join the local defense force to get weapons. There will be a lot of them, especially the malignacy and the hybrids. They will join the mining crews because they're very strong, so they can hold all them things. They will definitely try their best to infiltrate every part of what every planet has a government. You know, lizard people in the government. Wait, is this just the real world? Are we just looking at the real world now? If your politician has 3 or more arms, it's probably a true hybrid. That means next generation it's primacy, and then you should shit your pants. Because what happens next is the primacy will breed and create more pure strain GeneStealers. Somehow all the humanity will be removed and only the true tyrannid GeneStealers will be back. But what happens next? This is when the fun happens. Now, how do you keep control over these, at this point, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of individuals who work in the deep, deep bowels of everything and run everything as a secret cabal without most of the world actually knowing? Well, you need to set up kind of a heroic propaganda net, and you need to have people for this. That is why some of them specialize even more. Of course they have doctors, they have strategists, and they have people with big telephone prompters that speak propaganda directly into the ears like, yes, you should do as the four-armed emperor says, as he is the true lord, and when the four-armed emperor we shall all ascend to godhood. But they also have the favorite unit of the entirety of Warhammer 40k, the Kellamorph. What happens if you take the good, the bad, and the ugly and put it into a single character? That is the Kellamorph. This is a Western style tyrannid guy who wears a cape and is seen as a hero for the cause. He is a cult champion, the hero, and he is the one true savior who can do all sorts of things. In reality, he's a monster who is there to pretend to be this cool guy, and that everyone in the cult can look up to and look at like, oh my god, look, a true hero, oh my god, he took down another authoritarian figure, it's amazing. But actually he's just a bald guy with a vendetta and 3 guns, why not? Yes, he truly is the good and the bad and the ugly mixed into a single fella. I love him. I love the Kellamorph. Some of them will also develop psychic abilities, not the Kellamorphs, but other GeneStealers, and they will become Marcuses. Yes, not very original with the names. After Kellamorph, and then they go directly into Marcus. These will often lead, like, be more leader-ish behind the scenes, and they will conduct and be psychers, and they will throw magic around at their weight and all that shit. Now, who leads the GeneStealer cult? Well, one of the original GeneStealers will take the role of a patriarch or a matriarch, a leader boss, a big guy, the man. And he, she, I don't know, do they have genders? Probably not. They literally mate by kissing, so probably not. Yes, they do, that is kissing. They will kiss the enemy and they will pump in some biomass. Yes, exactly. Now, this will be the patriarch. Yes, he exists. It exists. It's quite big. And this one will send mind waves across the entire cult and tell them exactly what to do, who to promote, where to get, where the saboteurs, of course they have saboteurs, they're basically rebels, they're basically World War II rebels, they're basically guerrilla war fighters, that's the thing. That's not the thing that's fun, it's all how they mind warp and brainwash all their members that I find just peak interesting. It's like so many equivalents in real life. Let's not talk about politics though, but it is interesting and it is very fun. He will, with brainwashing and mind waves, tell who to promote and what to do, where to go, and when time is right, because he can communicate with the hive mind, as mentioned in the previous video. Look above, look below, it's somewhere here. Oh whoa. Anyways, he will know when they arrive. He will send out the big smelly fart into the hyperverse, the universe, and he will contact the local hive fleet or hive fleet, splinter fleet, and he'll tell them, come here, we are ripe and we are many and we are ready to help. That is when the Hive fleet arrives. It'll set its sight on the planet with the fartiest smell. Some planets it Lictor smells, some is Ripper smells, and some has GeneStealer smells. The bigger the cult, the nastier the fart, the faster the Hive fleet will arrive. The Hive fleet will arrive, and of course, war will erupt. While the defenders are trying to fight off the evil Hive fleet that attacks from above, the GeneStealer cult will spring from below. The patriarch, with his magnificent Tyranid language and a bit of English, or Gothic as it's called here, low Gothic, high Gothic in this case, because at this point he is quite the clever boy. He will speak to all his followers and coordinate a giant attack. He will go like, insurrection! It is time for us to rise and destroy everyone above, so we can ascend to godhood. Yes, yes, I've been one. I know, I should know. I'm an Eldar, yes, as you can see in the years. Very wise, yes. Anyways, this is what he'll do, and a bajillion of these boys will jump up from the sewers or attack from the local club, and some of them will have laser weapons because they have been in the army. They will have the guardsman weapons, some they will steal tanks, they will steal sentinels with our two-legged walkers, basically like the AT-ST from Star Wars. Some of them with big guns, some of them with mining equipment, and some of them called abominants and aberrants. The abominants and the aberrants are like giant, awfully looking creatures. They're like the true weird hybrids. These are the things. These cannot be seen in public until this exact point. They will be the brutes that lead a bunch alongside the Kellamorph, the hero of the universe, or the group, the Maguses, all the other ones, Strategist, Abahegist, Yelagegist. All of these guys will come up and they will coordinate an attack. And at this point, the defenders are like, fuck. Because while they've been busy fighting off from above, suddenly they're attacked by even more from below. And while they might not have the strongest weapons, they might not have the most skilled fighter, when you have 7 million people armed with screwdrivers and spoons, they will screw you over with a screwdriver. Now here's where it really sucks though for a GeneStealer cult member. At this point, the world has taken over. The Hive fleet had decimated most of the defenses alongside the GeneStealer cult. Now is the time that they rise and they become part of what they wanted. They become part with the four-armed Emperor Lars. By getting eaten. Yes. And that is what is so cathartic and fun, and why this faction is bloody fantastic. Imagine fighting for your entire life, thinking that you're doing it for something good, that you're doing it to overthrow an authoritarian, evil empire, only for them to look directly into Cthulhu's face and go, shit. I might have made a mistake along the way. Maybe I should have seen a doctor when I felt bad? Maybe I should have reported it when my baby was born with 3 arms and fangs. Too late now. They are then eaten and converted into biomass. The only one who gets to say are the purebred GeneStealers, laughing as they see everything else, even the diplomacy, the perfect human clones that they could honestly probably reuse at another planet, are eaten and converted into biomass, only to be shat out as a termagant or hormagant. Imagine that. You're the hero of an entire insurrection, and in your next life, you're a beetle with a rifle. And not a good rifle. A rifle that shoots wasps. That makes your enemies explode. Kind of a downgrade. Now, I've talked a whole lot about humans getting infected, but this is the Warhammer 40k universes. So we know there's a lot of different races. There's Eldar, Necrons, Orcs, Chaos, Eldar, Tau, and Dark Eldar, which are also Eldar, which is said 3 times. Can these be infected? Well, technically yes. However, each one of these races had some, like a massive negative trait or something that just made them very unlikely to let an insurrection like this pass. We start with the Eldar. The Eldar are so psychically attuned that the second their biomass is in, they can basically feel that, oh shit, this person has been taken over by something evil. So, no. So that is basically no-go. Plus, the gestation period for a single Eldar baby, aka how long it takes for an Eldar baby to be born, is so ridiculously long. Ain't nobody got time for that. The Tau are so linked to their ethereals. Don't worry, we will get into all of these races as we go on. The ethereals are so in tune with the individual Tau that the chances of this to go unnoticed amongst the ethereals is like with Eldar, basically no go. However, the gestation period for Tau is prime. You can get an insurrection up real fucking quick with Tau, because they live short fucking lives. The Croods, they have a guy called a Shaper. What does a Shaper do? They can smell pheromones. All of them can. They know what's diseased. They know what feels bad. They can basically smell that this guy is not good. Then there's the Necrons. They're robots. I don't need to say anything there. Dark Eldar? Still Eldar. Chaos? It's Satan. They don't really gestate very well. And, last but not least, the Orcs. Orcs are probably the second most successful thing for GeneStealer. But Orcs has this uncanny bullshit ability to smell when something is wrong with another Orc. So they kill that Orc. Meaning that most of the GeneStealer cults and Orcs tend to be tribes that cannot integrate with the remaining Orcs, which makes the infiltration aspect completely useless. They can't infiltrate if you get smelled out instantly and murdered with a sword or club or gun or dagger chopper. So, at this current point, the humans are the only actual successful race that you can GeneSteal. It's also the race that has the most pets production. So it makes sense that genes stealing is more common with humans. Yes. I think that was all for my favorite faction, the GeneStealer cult. Look forward for next week when we have special guest and we are talking about Imperial Guards. Bye bye. Lo-fi away.